where you'll pick a topic, you'll pick what you want to do for the final project, and this is not a very big class, so we really can show them during class time. We will get to show them all during class time. Whether you make a video or you just share your screen, right? And the videos are pretty good. I like the videos. So if you make a video, that's fine too. But we're talking about the final projects here. Okay. So let's get started. Today we are on October 27th and creating objects and methods. Let's go here to Replit. And we'll make a Java Replit. And we'll call this one Creating Objects and Methods. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let's create a static method first. Create a static method first. So for the static method, we're going to say public static int, and we can do something like find smallest. And find smallest can take an array list of integers, and we'll just start by saying return 0, but then we'll do it right. Now we also need to import java.util.arraylist, and we are going to be using the built-in methods that Java provides us for find smallest. Well, actually, we can go through and we'll do it ourselves first. So we can say int smallest equals al dot get 0. Now, what if there is a null value sent in or it's size 0? Well, then we can just return 0. So we can say if al equals null or al.size equals 0, then return 0. Okay, so if the array list has 0, or if the array list has nothing, return 0. Like that seems reasonable. And then we'll return smallest. All right. So to call this static method, all we need to do is we need to make an array list, right? Array list integer my al equals new array list. Okay. And we can also put inside here that we are being specific, and we can just add some value in here, add 5. And now we'll call system.out.println find smallest, and we'll send in my al, and we run it and we should see 5. Okay, we do see 5. If we were to run this with null, it should return 0. So we'll say here find smallest, send in null, and let's see what it gives us. Gives us 0, good, so we can handle null. And if we make an array list with nothing in it, it should also return 0. So we can say here system.out.println find smallest with AL2, and that should be 0. And no problem, it is 0. All right, let's see. Ronald says, don't you think it would have been better to learn front end first, or more like a front end language like HTML, CSS, JavaScript? And is there a way to check our grades in general? Okay, so grades are going to be on Freer School. I entered the grades by hand from Blackboard to Freer School last night. So that's the first question. Well, front end is a different skill. I mean, front end is like a lot of design. That's design, which has design principles. And computer science is a little more, it's based more in applied math and just working with lots of data and interacting more with the operating system or designing an operating system. So people can decide to go into whichever direction, right? Like UI is so important. It's not that front end isn't important, but I guess to answer the question, I can see why Miami-Dade makes this decision of having C++ and then Java with a focus on just command line programming. So, but we will actually do some GUI programming in this class. We will do some GUI programming with Swing. All right, good questions. So let's go ahead and write this out here. We can just go through the rest of the items. For int I equals 1, well, I is less than ai.size, I plus plus. We'll say if al.get I is less than smallest, then we're going to make that the smallest. Smallest equals al.get I. And now we can go ahead and add some more items to this. We can say my al.add -2 and my al.add 25. And now we're expecting -2 for the first one. Expecting -2. And we run it. And we see yes, it is -2 as expected. So this is just one way of sorting it. Well, it's not sorted, but one way of finding the smallest. Okay? So why did we start with this lesson today? We started with this lesson today because we wanted to practice calling the... Yes, go ahead.
Mom, no, but classes and sessions.
Yes, go ahead. You're on? I think that was an accidental unmute. Okay. So if that's accidental, we'll just go on. So here is how we call the method. Here is how we call the method. And we get the expected behavior, right? Now, if this was not a static method, we would have to make an object. Okay, so if this was public void non-static, and we'll just say system.out.println in here, this non-static method we can't call the same way. We can't just type out non-static and then run it like that. Okay, it says non-static method non-static cannot be referenced from a static context. So to do this, we would have to make a main object. So we could say new main dot non-static. Now when we run it, we can get in here non-static. So you'll notice that we can make an anonymous object. We don't have to make a variable that we can refer to again, right? New main is totally legal and it's done all the time. And that's one of the purposes of today's lesson, to show you things like that. Okay, so any questions about this, what we just did? Hopefully most of it is review, but anything that you'd like to talk about or ask about? Okay, great. So let's, oh, someone is typing. Let's see, array list, angle bracket integer is a command type thingy. Command type thing. Well, this is to ensure, the integer is to ensure that we can't just put anything we want in there, right? If we take this out, here, okay, it can work, it can run, but they recommend that you should put parameters. Okay, so this is legal. It's legal in Java to send in just anything into the array list. You could send in numbers or strings or whatever you want, but as you can see, Replit is configured to warn you that this isn't a good idea. So it's not the best idea. All right, so now you're going to have some fun making a static method. So, sure, no problem. So you will make a static method that takes in an array of strings, and the strings are going to have different programming languages. The strings will have programming languages. Return true if Java is included in the array of strings. Okay, I like this because I don't think it should take too long, right? Like I try to pick problems that we can do within 10 minutes or something like that. Some people might take a little bit longer, but you're going to base it off of what I just did. Now, take note, I have to say something about one of the questions. One of the questions was return goodbye plus the person's name plus exclamation point. All right. If somebody returned hello, Okay, so for the last question on the test, if you return the wrong word, I mean, that's obviously it's just a mistake. It's an oversight. You overlooked something. But it's still wrong. And it's not like that happened very often. Like most everybody just did the proper return for that question because it was designed to be pretty easy. But that shows a lack of focus and not being detail oriented. So here, where I say take in an array of strings, I know there's going to be someone who makes another array list of strings. And they're going to say, well, what's the difference? They both contain data. But if you extend that, it's going to be, well, what's the difference? I left this off. What's the difference? I didn't do this. What's the difference? You really can't have that attitude in programming. In programming, you have to be very precise, very detail oriented. It's not the right field for that, for that attitude. Okay? So everybody give it a try with this static method. Give the static method a good name and send it to me as you finish it. Okay, so I've gotten some messages from students. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have have a student explain their code. So Christian was working with me and got a working solution here. So some people might not be done yet, but we need to look at one solution and then we can discuss it and move on. So next time you'll be the go-to. Um, this time we've got another student, Christian. So I'm just going to mute myself and then stop sharing. And this is also good practice for sharing your screen with Discord. So here I go with muting myself.
Hello, Professor, can you hear me? Oh, whatever. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, by the way, Professor, I was trying to run a program and it wasn't running quite well. Maybe when I share my screen, maybe you can like help me. Why is this? What is it? Okay, can you see my screen on IntelliJ?
Not yet. Can anybody else see it? Oh, wait, now it's coming up. Now I'm good. Okay, now it's good. Sometimes there's a lag.
Yeah. Okay, what I just did is create the public static boolean is Java in, like it's the name I give it, and it's gonna take in a string of array. So I created a for loop to make a I mean that's the regular setup, and it's gonna evaluate for an array for if inside of the array is equal Java, like if the actual string is in there, it's gonna return true. Otherwise, it's gonna just return false for the program. And I call the method here, like I create another string here with data, and so it's calling here with the parameter string array. It's calling in here. So if the actual word Java is in there, so it should return true. But I'm having this trouble when I run it. It's like giving me exhibit code, so no error. At the same time, it's not running what it needs to be run. No, Professor, can you hear me there?
Let's outsource it to the class. Can somebody help help Christian figure out what's the problem here?
Okay, I'm gonna paste it in the Discord. Okay, it's there. But I don't really know what's the issue. It seems fine, but
Let's see, what could it be? Ah, we have someone typing. Well, no, that's not right. For strings, strings need dot equals, not equals equals. So that's not it. Yeah, but on the code that you put, it's that's not right. Strings need equals equals. Exactly. Yeah. That's for the location in the memory, right? Like that compares the location in memory, but not what's inside the string. So for that you need equals. So let's see. Let's see if anybody else has any ideas about this. Yeah, it does look good to him. It looks good to you. It looks good to me. But there's no output. I'll try to. There's no output. So that'll give you a hint as to what the problem is.
okay, Professor. But when it says return true, shouldn't just return the word true.
Well, yeah, it should return. Yes, Sebastian figured it out. Yeah. You have to print what it's returning. So you have to put that method call into the system.out.println. So that maybe print gets the thumbs up. Do you understand what Sebastian's saying? You just have to put a print statement in before that.
So what you mean is inside here on my main, like trying to
Yeah,
system.
where you call the method, you have to print the method call.
Okay. So just like here. Would it be something like this? Or does it make sense? Oh yeah, there you go.
All right,
Perfect.
good work. We figured it out. Excellent.
Thank you, Sebastian. Appreciate it.
Sure. So, good work, and now we're ready to continue on. So let's,
Okay.
yeah, you can share the screen. Stop the screen share.
Wait, thanks for this.
Sure. So that was a fun exercise. I definitely like when we do brainstorming to figure out what's the problem. Let me share my screen again. Figure out what's the problem, and then how do we fix it, right? So it would have been faster in terms of time if I would have just shouted out, "Oh no, put the print statement. You need the print statement." But having time to think about it, spending that time just cogitating and then putting in the answer is very valuable. Okay? So now we have a working solution, and that's good. So I think we can put aside um, this maybe I'll code it pretty quickly. So you will make a static method that takes in an array of strings. So we need public static, and it's going to return true if Java is included in the array of strings. So we could say has Java. I don't know, that might work. And then we say string array of programming languages. And then we can just loop through, and we can say for each language within programming language, we can say if the language equals Java, then we can return true. And if we get to the very end, we have to return false. And then we can go down here and try to make this. So we can just say here we're going to have a string array of languages equals Java. Well, we'll put C++, Java, Python. All right. And then we're going to say system.out.println has Java, and we'll send in languages, and we're expecting true for the first. So has Java. There we go. And so we run it, and we see has Java is true. Okay? Now if we were to take Java out and rerun it, it says has Java false. So the other nice thing about this example is it uses the enhanced for loop. Okay? It uses the enhanced for loop. The enhanced for loop is important. Okay. So I think we can put this example to rest. We're coming up on 8 o'clock. So the other part of today is going back to Codingbat. So let's go here to Codingbat. And we are going to look through some of these problems. Okay. So warm-up 1, warm-up 2, string 1, array 1. Logic 1, logic 2. Let's take a look at a logic 2 problem. Let's take a look at Blackjack. Okay. We haven't done Blackjack in class, have we? I don't think so. I think I would have remembered that. So it says, given two int values greater than 0, return whichever value is nearest to 21 without going over. Return 0 if they both go over. Okay. So let's take this step by step. Return 0 if they both go over. If A is greater than 21 and B is greater than 21, return 0. All right, so we can just take this step by step, return 0 if they both go over. All right, now we can say return whichever value is nearest to 21 without going over. Well, let's see. If A is greater than 21, then we can return B. If B is greater than 21, then return A. And then otherwise, if A is greater than B, return A. And then if we get this far, we just return B. Okay, so we run it and we get it all works. Now, when I did this solution in class, a student said they didn't like it. And the student did this. So that was my solution. Yeah, and this is what the student did. the student did this, right? That was a student submission. And I said, that's too hard to read, right? And he kind of knew it was hard to read. Like he knew it was it was kind of silly, but he was like kind of a playful, funny guy. And I think you can get in trouble if you're too clever like that working with other people, because other people are going to look at it and say, no, 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 we don't want to, this isn't readable, right? You're not going to see them chained that much together. So I do like to leave this example in from the student, because even though it happened years ago, I'm reminded of it. I think it shows a good lesson. And another funny thing about that student was he was an amazing programmer. Like he programmed a snake game. Like he could just do like amazing, amazing things. I still remember his exploits of what he could do. And I asked him to join the programming competition, and he said, no, I don't think I'd be very good at the programming competition. And I just remember thinking, what a shame, because he didn't even want to go challenge himself, which is fine. Like not everybody good at programming has to go to a programming competition, but he was just really, really good. And not everybody who I sort of identify like that even wants to go to those programming competitions. So, yeah. Okay, anyways, let's now move on. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you, do you see anything that I could do to make this blackjack code a little faster, not faster, but like a little nicer? Could I make this blackjack code a little nicer? What do you think? Let's see. Could I add the A is greater than B and use or? Okay, that might be a good idea. Okay, let's see this. So we can say if A is greater than B or B is greater than 21. Okay, I like that. So then we can take out this, one. And then we can do the same for, let's see. Yeah, that fixes that. That makes it a little shorter. Good. Yes, that's good. So we did make it shorter. And we could play this game where we keep trying to make it shorter, but I guess right now we'll just leave this problem aside. Let's leave this aside and just say that this is a pretty good approach. It's readable. It's not like this down here, and we're doing good. Okay, so let's go to another problem. Let's look at string 2. Let's look at string 2. And let's see, which is an interesting one from string 2. Oh, I thought there were suggestions coming for string 2. How about How about, oh, there is one. Count code. Okay, count code. Right? It says return the number of times that the string code appears anywhere in the given string, except will accept any letter for the D, so cope and code and cool count. All right, sounds good. So here we have AAA code BBB, code XX code, goes which counts, and then XX no, and then cope counts. Let's see. So how about it, Case? Do you want to do some live coding for this one?
I can try, but I must warn you, I tried doing this one before and I didn't have good luck.
Well, that's all right.
But I'll try.
If you get stuck, somebody will help you and you'll get it this time.
Okay. Okay, can you see me?
Looks good.
Okay, let me just fix my screen. Okay, so it's okay, so if it returns, saying if it returns cope, then that still counts as true? True?
Yeah, basically if it's CO and then whatever and then E, it counts.
Let's see. Could I do it contains?
Yeah, I don't know if that would be simpler, but contains does work with strings. So maybe.
This seems too simple. I don't know if it's gonna give it to me.
Right, because that won't work because that's just returning a true or false, but you need to return a number, an int. See how many,
Oh,
right, how many times is it in there?
mm, if anyone wants to chime in, um,
Yeah, I'll jump in for something. Instead of size of, you need to use dot length. And then, yeah, you can keep those parentheses. So add the parentheses after length. Yeah. And then you also don't want to go to the end, so you might want to put something like -3 after length. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Perfect, perfect.
I don't know how to grab like that many. I'm trying to do something with contains, but I don't know how to grab all of those letters at one time. That's the thing. Like, hmm.
Well, substring is pretty useful. Like if you just want to get some parts.
I see. Oh, I forgot how to do that part.
That should be str, the substring. Uh, no, I don't think so.
Uh, yeah, I'm like totally lost right now.
No, that's right. Substring is right, and then you'll just do I, right,
Uh,
and then comma after the I. And no. So inside of the parentheses, yeah, back a little bit more. Back. Yeah, inside there you can put the comma, and now you're going to be going from the I position to, oh, look, we have something in the chat. Let's go see here. Substring index of CO index of CO plus 2. Okay, so you're finding you're finding wherever the CO is. Hmm.
uh,
So that's an interesting approach. So instead of just going sequentially through it, just get the just look for where the CO is. Hmm. Oh, and then make sure the last part is an E. So let's see.
like you're saying like this.
Hmm. Yeah, but so the index of would have to run on a string. So it would have to be like str dot index of. And now I'm not so sure we want to put it inside of a substring because we sort of went a different direction, which is okay, which is good. So we can say we can loop through it and say like if the index of CO is right before the index of the E, and then you can increase the count if those conditions are true. So it would need to be like if the first one, we'll look at the second example. Count code C is going to
Oh, I
be,
feel like something like that. Like I would have to use a comparison.
yeah, like
Uh,
if the CO index is if the CO index is 2 less, or I guess 3 less.
let's see what one this
If
is.
the CO index plus 3 equals the index of E, then we'll just increment the count. So just make a counter variable.
Let's see.
Oh, and you know what? Instead of this for loop, since we're not going sequentially, let's just swap that out for a while statement. So we can say while, um, and then in parentheses, str dot contains CO, and then just put parentheses after the contains. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then like after we've found, and just to make it nicer, we'll just put the curly braces in.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm.
And then I mean, if we did find it, we can just get rid of everything up to that point in the string to make the string smaller. So inside that if statement beneath the counter, we can say something like str equals str. Let's see. I guess we can just get rid of the. So we can say s equals str. Yeah, no, that was right. Equals str dot substring. This is good because we'll get substring practice. Parentheses str dot index of, and then parentheses, and we'll put quotation marks in there, co, and we'll say +3 on the outside of index of. No, outside. And then semicolon, and then at the end we'll return counter. So, but outside of the loop, yeah. No, that's still inside the loop.
Oh, I see.
So we don't know. We don't know if this is going to work, but it seems logical. So let's.
I haven't had an idea. Is it possible to use like a remove or something?
Oh, yeah, they have replace. String has replace.
Yeah, maybe I could do like a str dot replace. Um, I don't know. How do I do this?
Yeah, that was right.
Replace. I'm trying to put something that if it's not to, how would I do that? So, is- can I do something like this? Would this cause an error if I do that?
It, so yeah, you'd have to use a regular expression, like, and the regular expression is going to be a little different instead of the logical not. I don't think that's going to work. Try to run it and see if that runs. I don't think it should,
Okay.
but it all
Um,
you have to do is press go, and then we'll see if it works.
Alright, but the replace I would put here, right? Like
Well,
that.
yeah. You have to replace something with something else, but that's not how the not is going to work. So
That's,
I would just comment that out. Okay, and we're missing some syntax.
uh,
Oh, timed out. Okay. So let's see. So checks code. Um, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, something must be wrong with how we're making the problem smaller each time. Let's see. So substring is going to be from that position.
can I do like,
I think the problem is the line where we're saying str equals str substring. Um,
Yeah, let me see. Can I do like this and
yeah, but then it won't be taking in the codes that are COPE and COOE, because remember in the problem they said that it can accept all kinds of all kinds of letters for the D. Oh yeah, you're just missing the S on the first contains on that line.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I only got three of them now.
But it is getting better in terms of it's getting better making the problem smaller. So the STR is working, but it's oh, and you know what? It looks like when it's timing out, while STR contains that. Oh, look at the problem. Look at the first one that times out. We just noticed this. You see, STR
Oh, I see.
COZE does contain CO. That's the problem. Can you copy the code that you have there and paste it into the chat so others can start working with it? Yeah, this is a good problem. This is a really fun one. So does everybody see what's happening? The first thing that's being sent in that times out has COZE. So COZE contains CO. And that will always go into the while loop. That's an issue. So does anyone have an idea to fix it? I mean, we just need to keep making the problem smaller, right? So like if after the if, we just have to make an else, and if we couldn't find if we couldn't find it in the first four, we just we just get rid of those we just get rid of the beginning of the characters, the beginning of the strings. Ah, Eric is typing something. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I mean I threw out the idea of using a while loop, but we can switch back to for loop. Let's do that. I'm fine with that. And then instead of checking the whole string, you can just see if the substring contains CO and E, right? Yeah, and then we won't need that line anymore. No, yeah, that one below needs to go. Yeah. But we can put str.substring inside the if statement, And then, no, you'll need the contains. str.substring. But first comes the substring, then the contains.
Right here.
So, but the way it works is you can chain methods with Java. So it could be like str.substring and then dot contains. Yes, exactly. So first we do dot substring, and then we can just put I, comma, I plus 4. Here, if you look in the chat, you'll see.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. And then dot, and then erase that next parentheses. Right. And backspace again, or delete again. Good. So we've got if it contains CO and it contains E.
so how would I do this part? I just, like that?
Well, you would also want to check to see if the substring contains it. So you basically just copy the first part over again, and you just, so you see what I'm saying? Delete that whole contains E, yeah, just press the delete key, right? And then you can copy that first part that you have with the str substring I, etc. But just what's inside the parentheses. So starting with str. So, but you wanted the and, right? Yeah, its substring is inclusive and exclusive. So you see, after you check to see if it contains the CO, you want to see if it contains the E. But you want to do it inside the same call. Now you're counting up if it has CO. There you go. So you can say and str substring contains the E. And then we can just erase what you just copied and pasted in down there. And let's try to run it. Okay, so we're getting an out of bounds exception. What did we put in before inside the for loop? Do you remember?
Nice.
There you go, yeah. And okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. But we're still not totally there. Can you copy the code we have? And then we can put it inside the chat. So the -3 is so that we don't go over. But we are almost there. We're almost there, and this is perfect. It's 8:29. We're doing really good on time. Everything's looking nice. I like the way this is happening, but it still doesn't work. Why doesn't it always work? Who can figure this out?
Well, I mean, for this one, I honestly only see 3. Like,
It is only 3, but we're doing 5.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So I think it's counting this.
It's counting where the first E, you see where the first E is? Yeah, it counts that and then the next CO after it. Because that substring contains both the E and the CO. Right? Does that make sense? Because we aren't looking at the order. We aren't doing if the E comes after. So
Size.
I think if instead of contains, if we say index, I think if we check the index might be better than contains. So I know before somebody suggested the index, but now I think we have the structure ready that we can do it. So instead of contains, if we say um, dot index of CO, and then we can do plus 3 equals equals. Then we can take out that and. Good. And then we can say index of E.
Like that. Then do.
Yeah, just erase that contains and put an index of. I think it's index of. Well, we'll find out if it doesn't work. So go ahead and run it and let's see if it works. And no, it's not working. Yeah, but contains is a true false. You can't really just add 3 to a true false.
Oh, contains.
No, but it's still, you see how it still has the plus 3?
Oh, I have to plus 3. I don't see how it's getting already.
Oh, yeah, I plus 2. That makes sense. Right, yeah, why was I saying I plus 3? So another thing is you can just do the substring for instead of I, you can do I plus 3. You see at the end? No, no, no. That first one, yeah. That second one. That second one's the really big issue. We got to change the second one. We can't check for the whole string. We have to just check for the last. So I would say I plus 3 comma I plus 4. So yeah, put the plus 3 at the first one and then the plus 4 at the second one. Right. So just move over to the right and then make that I plus 4.
This one is all plus 4.
No, that one was good what you had. That was good. So let's try to run this and scroll
Oh,
down. Nice, perfect. So if you could just copy and paste that working solution, good work. All right, that was fun. I liked the interaction. A lot of people were contributing, so that was really good. So there's no work being assigned. I'm getting everything sorted out with grades. Okay, so let's see. Let me share my screen here. There we go. So I have to like go back over. Some people turned in code reviews that like I might have written a message to them or asked for some kind of clarification and then never went back and finished some grading of it. So right now I'm just going to use this time to get everything in order in terms of everything that you have submitted is turned in properly. It's been graded. The Memer grades have been transported to the Freer School grades. And then before next class, once everything is sorted, I'll just send a message. I mean, there's other things like reasons why the work is not being like piled on right now, because people want to have fun on Halloween, right? Like, I get that people we'll probably be doing something fun. And if you don't like Halloween, then you can just use this time for just other pursuits. Now, let's say that you didn't get the score that you wanted on the first test. Well, if you notice on Freer School, let's go back to Freer School. What did I put at the very beginning? Practice answering problems on this site, meaning Codingbat, for 30 minutes per day minimum. Now, when we were looking at the previous problem, and this is the way I had it solved before, okay, we were going through lots of different approaches. So we would try this, we would try this, people would say try this, try this, try this. When you're trying all sorts of things, off by one errors are very common. That's just a common thing. For somebody to say I plus 2 or I plus 3 and they meant one and not the other, only because when we're dealing with so many numbers and data points, our minds just jumble things up, right? Like, and you just have to be accepting of that, right? But you try to minimize them. And with more practice, you get better and better and better. Another thing is, it's much harder to do live coding. Like when you're there coding in front of other people, you know, in this class, you're talking through what you're doing, and that does become more of a challenge, right? So when people say, "Oh, I'm struggling," and they're doing live coding, that's totally normal. That happens all the time. But the good thing is this isn't an interview situation where you're just being dismissed. Instead, we're trying to help you during the class time, right? During class time, it is collaborative. But during test time, it's all you, right? So even though I'm not adding in new assignments, if you keep studying and keep practicing, you will get better at this stuff. Hours and hours and hours that you put in will pay off. All right? So that's just my advice about like how to continue going forward, because I really like the Codingbat problems. They really force you to have to think, and it's just so important going forward. Okay, so let me take attendance real quickly. Let's see. Yeah. But is that easy when you have 10 tabs open? That's usually a pretty stressful feeling if you've got 10 tabs open. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, somebody's still unmuted. Okay, well, guess what? We are finished. I just took my last attendance, so that's it. And enjoy the week, and I will see you next week. And bye-bye.